Amazon has implemented AI cameras in its delivery vehicles to essentially surveil its drivers. And there are some significant consequences to this because turns out the AI technology is pretty faulty and the data that it records is being used to deny drivers their bonuses. So they're losing pay based on faulty technology that has been installed to surveil them creepily as they do their jobs. So in February, Amazon announced that it would install cameras made by the AI tech startup Netrodyne in its Amazon branded delivery vans as an innovation to keep drivers safe. And that's what they always say, right? No, we care about our drivers, we care about our workers, we just want to keep them safe. No, they want to surveil them. They want to make their lives even more miserable than it already is. They're expected to make 25 deliveries in an hour. Like it's insane the quotas that they have to meet. So on one hand, they have these insane quotas. On the other hand, they're being surveilled to ensure that they're driving perfectly, even though they have all the incentives to drive not so perfectly because they got to meet that quota, right? I mean, it's just workers are being pulled in a billion different directions. It's insane. So as of this month, Amazon has fitted more than half of its delivery fleet nationwide with this technology. Now, Derek, a delivery driver at the facility, said that the camera in his van started to incorrectly penalize him whenever cars cut him off, an everyday occurrence in Los Angeles traffic, and I can definitely attest to that. Maintain safe distance, the camera installed above his seat would say when a car cut him off. The data would be sent to Amazon and would be used to evaluate his performance that week and determine whether he got a bonus. So again, this data gets recorded, it gets sent over to Amazon, and then Amazon uses the data, which is faulty, based on several of its workers, by the way, speaking out against this. They make the decisions on pay based on the faulty data. In fact, Derek, and that's not his real name, he's obviously using a fake name because he's worried about retaliation from Amazon, also said this: every time I need to make a right-hand turn, it inevitably happens, meaning he gets cut off. A car cuts me off to move into my lane and the camera in this really dystopian, dark, robotic voice shouts at me. It's so disconcerting, it's upsetting when I didn't do anything. And by the way, like the workers keep reaching out to Amazon, they reach out to their employer, which oftentimes is a third party that's been contracted by Amazon, to say, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. Like this is faulty, this is insane, like I got cut off. And they get nothing more than crickets from Amazon. They still get their pay docked. In fact, the owners of the delivery companies that have been contracted out by Amazon have been complaining about this as well. Let's hear from one other worker, an Amazon delivery associate, who says, when I get my score each week, I ask my company to tell me what I did wrong. My delivery company will email Amazon and CC me and say, hey, we have drivers who'd like to see the photos flagged as events, but they don't respond. There's no room for discussion around the possibility that maybe the camera's data isn't clean. And another driver, this time a driver in Amazon, told Vice the following: the Netrodyne cameras that Amazon installed in our vans have been nothing but a nightmare. They watch every move we make. I have been dinged for following too close when someone cuts me off. If I look into my mirrors to make sure I'm safe to change lanes, it dings me for distraction because my face is turned to look into my mirror. I personally did not feel any more safe with a camera watching my every move because the camera is not meant to keep you safe. It's meant to control the workers, it's meant to surveil the workers, it's meant to push unreasonable expectations on workers. For delivery drivers to meet unreasonable quotas while at the same time being perfect drivers. And in this case, even when the drivers aren't doing anything wrong, they get dinged for it and their pay suffers as a result. And I do want to give you one statement from a delivery service business owner that Amazon has decided to give a contract to. This person says Amazon uses these cameras allegedly to make sure they have a safer driving workforce, but they're actually using them not to pay delivery companies. They just take our money and expect that to motivate us to figure it out. Listen, delivery drivers are reduced to urinating in plastic bottles in their cars because they want to meet the quota that Amazon has forced them to meet. So if Amazon genuinely cared about the safety and well-being of its workers, maybe create a situation in which they don't have to urinate in plastic bottles in vehicles. Maybe look into that. Anytime Amazon claims it actually cares about the safety and the health and the well-being of its workers, just take a good hard look at how they treated workers in the beginning of the pandemic as they were demanding simple things like protective gear. I mean, one of the workers who was organizing Amazon warehouse employees to make these demands got fired immediately. Amazon doesn't care about their health or their well-being. What Amazon cares about is extracting as much labor as cheaply as possible from these workers. That's it. And the reason why they're surveilling them is because, first of all, they're creeps. Just like give people a little breathing room and a little freedom. But the surveillance is really about keeping tabs on them and ensuring that, there isn't any bad driving that could harm the company. You think they could care at all about how the workers are feeling or how they're being treated? They've been treating the workers poorly for a long time now. And it's not just Amazon. We're seeing employers all across the country use surveillance technology as more and more workers have to work from home. So if you're happy about the fact that you might be a remote worker now, thanks to the pandemic, and you could be a remote worker permanently because things are changing, don't worry, they'll find a way to surveil you. And many remote workers are already experiencing it. Has nothing at all to do with your well-being. It has everything to do with extracting as much labor from you as possible for the cheapest possible price.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.